Hi there, Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the Oneill range of winter wetsuits for fall 2013 into winter 2014. Basically, not a huge amount of difference between this year and last year in terms of the actual wetsuits that are available, but some differences in the features and functions of the wetsuit. So we're going to walk you through all of the suits again. Next along the list is the Oneill Superfreak, which is a kind of mid-range wetsuit available in lots of different thicknesses. So the thickness that we use in the UK winter is definitely 5'3" or more, and basically that dictates the thickness of the neoprene. So 5mm on the lower body and 3mm on the upper body where you need a bit more flex and stretch. Okay. So when you're looking at those sort of figures, that's what it dictates. So the suit also comes in a 4'3", which is great for those that really don't sort of suffer from the cold too much. They can wear it right the way through the winter, but predominantly it's usually for sort of autumn time or spring and sort of into summertime as well. Okay, so, and then obviously you've got the 3-2 as well. But one thing they have introduced, or we think the thing that we've stocked this year, and is an introduction into the line, I do believe, is the hooded version. Okay, so we'll include this in the same video because essentially it's the same suit just with a hood. The suit itself is a 5'4", so the thickness is slightly different. You've got 5mm on the lower body and then 4mm on the arms rather than 3. Okay, so that compromises the flexibility a little bit, but adds quite a lot of warmth, and then obviously you've got an inbuilt hood as well. But we'll walk you through the features of the suit and then obviously show you the sort of hood and how it's built into this particular suit as well. So the Superfreak's become a mid-range suit. It's been really, really popular. It's pretty much one of our biggest sellers. It was only introduced about sort of 2 or 3 years ago, I think, into the range, as kind of like a mid-range affordable chest zip wetsuit. So for those that like the chest entry suits, and it's taken off really. It's been really, really popular. So the main features of the suit is the grade of neoprene that you get. Okay, through most of the suit you get the Ultraflex neoprene, which is really stretchy, flexible, high quality neoprene. That runs the whole way through down the side panel, which is an uninterrupted side panel, which gives you loads of sort of dynamic stretch across the side of the wetsuit. And then in the middle sort of panels across here, and then sort of in the lumbar region you get what we call the Fluid Flex neoprene, which is a bit more of an abrasive, not quite as flexible neoprene, but basically that allows the suit to be more affordable. But having said that, they only price these types of neoprene in areas where you don't need as much flex and stretch, so it shouldn't compromise the suit too much. But the Ultraflex is where you need it. It's above the shoulders, under the shoulders, in the paddle zones basically, where you need more flex and movement in the suit. The seams on the suit are what we call a GBS seam, or glued and blind stitch seam. Basically that means when the two pieces of neoprene are butted up together, instead of being stitched the whole way through, which will obviously create holes and make the suit leak through, basically it's stitched halfway through. On the other side it's then glued to seal the suit, so there shouldn't be too much water coming in through the seams and making you cold. And then around the critical stress points, and this is the whole way through the suit, like around the chest panel, around the ankles, it's double stitched and then taped as well, just to make sure the suit is nice and strong, has a long shelf life. Okay, so the biggest difference with this suit then is the entry system. It's what we call a fuse entry system, or what Oneill have called a fuse entry system, which basically means it's a chest zip. So that's how you get in and out of the wetsuit. And basically the way that that works is this piece of neoprene is sewn over the top of the wetsuit. So if I sort of bring the zip across here, which zips across the chest, if I can actually do it, and then buttons down. Okay, now it's a specially treated zip, which is coated to stop any water coming through. But any water that does come through, it doesn't come straight into the suit, because what they've done is they've sewn that panel over the top of the actual wetsuit. You can see that basically. So this wetsuit itself comes right up to the neck and collar, where it will create a nice seal around your collar and hopefully minimise flush throughs. And then that chest panel is then sewn over the top of the suit. You can see it around the back here. See where it's sewn on. And then you basically bring that up and over your head, and it's completely sealed on one side. So the only place that water can come through is either going to be through the collar, but hopefully the neck seal will stop that, or up through the side, which is very unlikely because any water that does come in through there basically comes against the chest panel here and then is drained back out with the diagonal sort of movement of the zip around the back, where you have like a little hole basically under here which allows water to drain out of the back of the suit. So it's very unlikely that any water will get in through the neck or through the sort of entry system basically, which is why people really like the chest zip suits, and one of the main benefits of it. It's an unbroken collar basically, so it lets less water in, and also means that you don't have the need for a zip on the back, which will give you more freedom and movement through the back of the wetsuit. Okay, so that's why they're quite popular, and some people just prefer the feel of a chest zip as well. But the one downside is they're a little bit harder to get in and out of. But once you get the hang of them, not too bad at all. Similar to the back zip of option, basically you do have that roll neck collar, which is basically two pieces of neoprene put together, makes it nice and tight around your neck to stop any flush throughs, but also allows the outside piece to move independently from the inside piece, which stops the smooth skin rubbing up and down your neck and causing a rash. So that's basically the idea behind that, so the thinking behind that, and it works pretty well. Okay, so that's the chest zip system. It's called a blackout system, or blackout zip, and basically that just means that it's waterproof, doesn't let any water in. So it's not just a run-of-the-mill zip, it's a PK zip as well, which is non-corrosive and won't seize up under salt water. On the outside of the suit then, other things worth mentioning, you do have a smooth skin panel on the front and on the back, which basically stops any wind penetration into the suit, keeps you warmer for longer, keeps you in the water for longer, and basically, especially on the cold sort of bitter days, it will help keep you warmer. One thing that's worth mentioning then is leading on to the hooded suit. Now basically the hooded suit just has an integrated hood, again made of that smooth material which stops any wind penetrating the hood and basically keep your head very warm. And the benefits of having a inbuilt hood is you get a really good seal on the suit. Very unlikely you'll get any flush throughs as long as the hood fits well around your face. It's got a toggle where you can fasten it, and it's got a peak which keeps any sort of rainfall out of your eyes. And basically that's the inbuilt hood version. Exactly the same suit, still the same chest entry system, the 4mm on the arms, that's the only difference, so it's a bit thicker. So great for people that really feel the cold, or in colder climates like the north of Scotland, north of Ireland, or even some of the sort of Baltic countries. So that's the hooded version, and it comes in at a really reasonable price as well. So if we delve inside the suit, this suit is also available for kids. It's really popular with the kids as well because it's a very affordable suit. You're talking £100 for a 5'3" chest zip suit for kids, so it's fantastic value for money. If we delve inside the suit then, there's a little bit more to tell you about. Okay, now you see these red panels, basically they're on the front and the back of the suit, and they sort of marry up with the smooth skin on the other side, and they're what we call an ultra flex firewall. And basically it's a very flexible material, but it's also very non-absorbent, so it dries very quickly. And the idea behind it is it's kind of like a fleecy material and works very similar to thermal underwear, meaning that basically as heat leaves your body, instead of being lost through the neoprene, which is quite a gradual process anyway, it's basically retained inside the core of the suit, keeping you warmer for longer, keeping you in the water for longer, and make sure you get the maximum sort of session that you can in the water. With the Epic or the entry level suit, you only get that on the front, which you do here as well, but with this suit you also get it around the back as well, so it's totally insulating you front and back to stop you getting too cold, basically, and that will just keep you nice and warm, keep your core warm, keep your blood warm, keep your extremities warm then, and keep you in the water for longer when you're comfortable at least. So that's pretty much everything going on. You can see sort of evidence there about what's talking about the critical taping around the chest panel, and in certain points they just put like the taping on there just to make sure the suit doesn't pull apart, and you get a good quality wetsuit that's going to last a long time and not fall to bits. So that's everything going on with the Superfreak really. For fall 2013-2014. It's pretty similar to last year. I don't think there's a huge amount of difference. The only sort of difference in the range is that hooded version of the suit, which I think is a really good idea, because most sort of hooded wetsuits come in more at the upper end, so you're still having to spend over £200, but this suit's well under £100, sort of a mid-range chest zip hooded wetsuit. It's going to be super warm, fully thermal lined, you know, you can't go wrong. So that's the Superfreak, always a really popular wetsuit, and I don't think it'll be any different for fall 2013.